Spring practice is about a week away, and that's why we want to talk about this Alabama football team as they get ready to practice under Coach Kalen DeBoer for the first time. Jamarcus Shepard with the wide receivers. What does he have to work with right now? I know Ryan Williams, the five-star out of Saraland, will be there for opening kickoff to start the season. But what about spring? What about the A-Day game? We're going to talk about the significant wide receivers that stayed. We'll kind of talk about the guy that walked away and went to Texas and where Alabama goes from here as far as playmakers on the outside. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a great way of saying roll tide. Let's get this thing started. What do you say, everybody? I'm Mick Gillispie, and there he is. Jump on the screen. Big Elmo from Jasper, Alabama, at Brett Elmore Show. Brett Elmore, I'm Mick Gillispie, at Broadcaster Mick. What is going on, dude?
1 week away from spring football. Man, it's in the air. I don't know what it's doing down in beautiful South Alabama, but tomorrow's going to be the warmest day of the year here locally. Spring's in the air. That means football right around the corner, my friend.
Yeah, so a new week, and it's time to look at the wide receivers at the University of Alabama as we get ready for spring practice. All right, for the Crimson Tide, Brett, let's just kind of touch on the guys that left. Jermaine Burton went to the NFL. The Georgia transfer finally left, so he's gone. Chaz Preston went to Tulane. He was a guy we never saw. Ja'Cory Brooks transferred to Louisville before the season ended, thought that he would be a big-time star at Alabama, and it just never really materialized. But the guy that hurts the most is Gravedigger himself, Isaiah Bond. Seemed like he was a pretty confident guy, and then bolted for what he called a business decision to Texas. And I feel like that hurts because it really felt like he was about to be the next guy.
Business decision, a.k.a. money and cars. That's
Hummer? Is it a Hummer?
I thought it was I don't know what he got. Did he get a Jeep or?
Maybe I know he got a Bronco. Who knows, man?
Who knows? He got something.
Cashing in.
Yeah, sort of like the Beverly Hillbillies. He struck oil out there and moved to the Beverly Hills, but whatever. He's out the door. We don't. I'm not going to have him. And yeah, that one does hurt, but we've talked about that subject, and he's gone. Adios. And we got a new crop of receivers. It's a new year, a new look, a new team, a new coach, a new radio guy, a new everything, it seems like.
Yeah, lots changed. And we're going to talk about the two best returners that Alabama has as far as this roster goes. And let's talk Kendrick Law first. Law is someone that I'm expecting, at least you would hope, would be a big part of this offense.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's going to have to be a guy that takes a leadership role because I think, him and maybe one other that we kind of know that, coming back from the team from last year. But last year, I mean, he saw some limited play time, but it was mostly there at the end of the season. His biggest game probably against Auburn, but that was 3 receptions. He wasn't targeted much. Last year, just 15 receptions, 135 yards, no touchdowns. Is this going to be a guy that's going to step up? Because it's someone in that wide receiver group is going to have to step up and be the leader. Is it going to be Kendrick Law or someone else?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what we're asking right now. Of the guys that are coming back, who's ready to be a difference maker for Alabama? Another guy that comes in with some experience is Kobe Prentice. And, a lot of one-catch games. One catch against Michigan in the Rose Bowl for 13 yards. Had a catch against Georgia for 19 yards. Had a catch against LSU for 22 yards. Couple catches and a touchdown and 93 yards against Arkansas. 4 catches against Kentucky and a win and a touchdown there. But could Kobe Prentice be a guy who makes an impact on this roster for Alabama? I think that's a fair question. Another junior. And experience-wise, I mean, these are 2 of the most experienced guys you have. No game changers yet, although the Kentucky game shows you that Prentice might have that in him.
I believe it's going to have to be one of the 2, really. No, I shouldn't say that. That's not fair to say. I think it should be one of the 2, or could, but who knows? One of these guys coming in. It doesn't matter who takes the role, but you would assume that one of these 2 juniors, it's been there and done that, it's got the playing time, they would step up. And
well, I mean, yeah, and you're in a spot where you got to have these guys do that. And that's why you come to Alabama. I mean, you come to Alabama to be put in a situation where you are relied on to make plays, and you make them, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it's sort of like, the next guy on the list is Jalen Hale. And Hale is a freshman, of course, from Longview, but he got a lot of playing time last year, more than maybe the other 2 did. He played in 5 games, 6 games. His biggest game probably was the Ole Miss game. He had a couple of receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. He was another guy who had a big game or one big catch against Kentucky that went for 51 yards. But still, experience. Where is it? This guy's only caught the ball 5 times, 148 yards and a touchdown. It's like, where's the guy? We don't have that guy with the ton of experience, the ton of catches, the major stats that we would normally look at.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe it's Jermaine Bernard, right? And you're probably saying, if you don't keep up with what's happened in the transfer portal, who's Bernard? Well, Bernard was part of the Washington team last year, and they had a lot of great receivers. So Bernard wasn't the main guy, but what's great about Bernard is he was really coming on at the end of the year. 3 catches against Texas in the win in the Sugar Bowl, had 48 yards, helped Washington beat Oregon with a touchdown in that game. He can run the ball and catch the ball. He's kind of like that guy that you bring him in motion and you can throw him in the backfield really fast.
Yeah.
It's not dual threat because it's not like he throws and catches, but he does more than just receive the ball. He can run it as well.
Maybe
and this was a big pickup.
Jet sweep type guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Jet sweep type guy.
And you also have to look at, does he have an upper hand because he's been in Coach DeBoer's system.
Right.
He kind of knows it a little bit. He's more used to Coach DeBoer than the other players.
Right.
So does that give Jeremy Bernard a leg up on some of the guys? But we've talked about this before when we've been breaking down other positions. Look, it's a new year. Everyone's got a clean slate. I don't care if you started last year. I mean, and that's the way it is, or it should be every year.
Right.
But someone's going to have to step up, and it may be Bernard. Who knows?
Yeah. Jaron Hamilton, Emmanuel Henderson, Cole Adams, 3 other guys that you may see. Arian Hampton is one of the newcomers. Amari Jefferson, Rico Scott. These are all big-time prospects. But the guy that sticks out the most to me is Ryan Williams. And the reason why is, I don't remember a lot of guys coming in with bigger hype than Ryan Williams. You're talking about two-time Mr. Football in Alabama. Is he someone that you're going to see in the 8A game? No, but is he someone that is going to make an impact on this roster? I mean, he could be a very Julio Jones-ish. I mean, no, is he big and physical like that? He's more fast and able to make plays with his speed and his great hands. But when you get to that point, who knows? I mean, maybe all these other guys are in the mix, and then this guy shows up and he makes an impact. I mean, I'm guessing that's kind of what we're thinking.
They compare this guy to Devontae Smith.
Right.
And, this guy's a stud. Everybody wanted him. They call him Hollywood, but he's almost like Bernard, and he can get it done in different ways. His final 2 seasons at Saraland High School, he accounted for over 4,600 all-purpose yards.
Wow.
65. Let me repeat that. 65 touchdowns.
Jeez.
In his last 2 seasons.
Wow.
At Saraland. I mean, this is one of the most dynamic players in the country, and being compared to Devontae Smith is pretty nice. The guy plays basketball. He competes in track and field. So he's one of those multi, sport kind of guys. And Gatorade Player of the Year. But what I'm getting at is this guy could make an immediate impact.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm excited about him as well, and what he brings to the table. And look, you get into the 8A game, you kind of start to see what you got. And then obviously when he shows up, that's going to change the dynamic. So if I'm Law or Prentice or Hale, Bernard, I mean, I'm one of these guys. I want to establish myself as being the alpha as far as catching the ball and see what it looks like with this new offense, because those guys are going to be relied on a lot more, I feel like, than maybe they would have been under the last, offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees. I just feel like the wide receiver position becomes such a point of emphasis for Coach DeBoer and what he wants to do on offense.
But you're right with Williams. The disadvantage for Ryan Williams is he was originally, of course, class 2025, but he reclassified. But he's not going to get on campus until this summer.
Right.
So he's going to miss the spring. So he's going to miss all of that work that they're going to put in.
Yeah.
So that'll be the drawback for Williams, but he's got plenty of time, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the receivers. I tell you what, Mick, they all have an excellent opportunity with this new offense. Mm-hmm. With them throwing the football like they do. They have an amazing opportunity here under this offensive scheme.
Well, and on top of that, remember, a couple days after the 8A game, the spring transfer portal opens. So they're looking to see what they have, how comfortable they are with the talent at certain spots, and then where there may be positions available as well. So that's something else that we're kind of digging towards, and it makes spring practice and the 8A game so important. And maybe not even the 8A game just as much as spring practice is, where Coach DeBoer and Coach Shepard look around and they go, hey, you know what? I feel really good about Hale. I really like Law. I like Prentice, or they don't like those guys. They obviously wanted Bernard there because they had him at Washington. So it'll be interesting to see. They may say, hey, man, we got a stacked receiver core. And a lot of people, Alabama fans, felt like we underutilized these receivers in the past, so we'll find all that out. And that's what's really exciting about this time of year, is just kind of getting an idea with this new staff, what we have and where we're going with it. So should be a fun week. Alabama basketball looking to bounce back. Nate Oates not real happy about the way that the Tide played defense against Kentucky Can't blame them there. Pretty critical. They have a chance to win the SEC, but they've got some really tough road games, including Ole Miss coming up in the midweek. And then game day is going to be in Tuscaloosa for Tennessee on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a log jam right now, Mick. You got Tennessee and Alabama both with 3 losses in the league. Have South Carolina and Auburn both with 4 losses in the league. So yeah, it's going to be it's a big week for Alabama, and we'll see how they bounce back from this Kentucky thumping that they took on Saturday.
Right. They've lost 3 games on the road at tough arenas and played poorly in all 3 of them, but they beat Tennessee on Saturday. They got to take care of business at Ole Miss, and, we'll see. I mean, you got to take it game by game. You just can't afford to lose any of these games, and then you got to go play Florida again, and we know how difficult that game was, and then Arkansas.
Yeah.
With 4 games left, and they're at the top. That's a good thing. And there's not going to be a tougher road atmosphere than what they've seen already.
Right.
But, maybe getting some guys back will help out as well. But definitely, not the type of effort that Nate Oates wanted to see when they played against Kentucky. And, it is what it is.
He wasn't very happy. Ole Miss has lost 2 in a row. They're kind of a downward spiral right now, but that's dangerous too.
Right.
They need to win. So
yeah,
it'll be an interesting week for hoops. And like I say, we have one more week, and man, a week from today, we're going to be talking spring football for real.
I know. And
the
coaching staff is put together, and you're talking about them going out and recruiting. They're doing a nice job there. Maybe we'll get into some of that tomorrow. But wanted to hit wide receivers because I think that's an area where a lot of people are just wondering what we're bringing back, what we've got coming in as far as freshmen go, and then the transfer portal could shake everything else up. All right, guys, let me remind you about Pearl River Resort. I was told today that I can tell you that Boys to Men will be at Pearl River Resort 4th of July weekend. Boys to Men, man. You remember them? I love Boys to Men.
I do too. There, man, yeah, that's a
Philly
great
Motown.
Yeah, I was never mind. I was going to say something, but yeah, that's grooving music right there.
Did you try to harmonize like the Boys back in the day, man? They were so great, man. Like they were so unique just because of their ability to kind of get on the microphone and and kind of a little bit old school. I love those guys, and I can't wait to see. I'm planning on going. I've always wanted to see Boys to Men, so they're going to be at Pearl River Resort.
Did they see I'll Make Love to You?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you played with your, back in the day. Or single. Single guys. You play with your date and turn the lights down. Maybe get a good drink going and
Turn the lights down low and put on a little Boys to Men, and that's how.
When I heard they were coming, I was like, oh man! I mean, that's an act I'd love to see. They got a lot of great acts. Part of their 30th anniversary at Pearl River Resort, and it's like they've got something for everyone. They've got the Wallflowers, Cool, and the Gang are going to be there. Brian McKnight's going to be there. That's another one I loved. Back in the day, as they say. You got Big and Rich are going to be there and more. So check it out. Pearl River Resort. You got the slots and the table games. You got the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sports Book with all of the games. If you want that Vegas experience there where you can legally bet on games, they've got that for you as well. Kiosks and the window and all of that stuff. But Dancing Rabbit Golf Course is the Augusta you can play. They've got a spa. They got a water park. Find out for yourself at Pearl River Resort. Brett, great seeing you, my friend.
You too.
All right, roll tide, everybody. And again, if you're not part of what we're doing, like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We'll talk to you soon.